go ahead, sit down. Okay. My note cards, 1 and 2, I think, yes. Every night since she was born, my 2-year-old daughter, Katie, has been read books by my husband and I. As an infant, she loved the pictures, and now, as a 24-month-old, she can identify characters, she can answer questions, and she knows which books are her favorites. This time spent together has enhanced our parent and child bond with our little girl. Katie has a deep love of books, but on the other hand, she's a screen addict. We have joked ever since she was an infant that she is the perfect couch potato. Screens such as the TV, computers, tablets, and our smartphones especially are flashy, they're colorful, they're fun in her little eyes. And although we're not strict about the television, we do not want her being read to by a screen every night. Now, don't get me wrong, I do love screens. I love technology, and every day I use it, and I have been advanced by it. I know it's not going anywhere anytime soon. I'm grateful for the advancements that have been made in my life, and it's made it easier. However, I do not want the screens to replace the time that I have to spend with my child, especially when we read to her and have those teachable moments. More and more children these days are reading on tablets. While tablets are not inherently bad, they do not have the same benefits that a parent would have when they read to their child. In the article, Can the Computer Replace the Adult for Storybook Reading? A meta-analysis on the effects of multimedia stories compared to sharing print stories with an adult. The authors Takas, Swart, and Buss discuss how reading to your child, a parent is able to exhibit adult scaffolding that the child can learn from. Scaffolding is a term that psychologists use in order to describe how parents, grandparents, or other role models in a child's life are able to model appropriate behavior for the children to learn from. Parents who read to their child can increase their positive interactions and communications. In our case with Katie, she's not verbal yet, but she has learned how to express her emotion in some of the books that we read, such as 10 Little Ladybugs. On one of the very last pages, of this book, there's one little ladybug left, and every time that we read this story, Katie shows sadness because she knows that that ladybug is sad because she is alone. Reading aloud to young children enhances their ability to master language, to identify feelings, and encourages conversation between parent and child. The American Academy of Pediatrics has stated that by reading aloud to children, they are able to increase their vocabulary, their emotional intelligence, as well as their overall language skills. The AAP has also said that when a parent is reading to their child, asking questions and involving their thought processes, they are able to increase in their problem-solving skills, as well as in skills that they can utilize later on in their lives, such as being able to write their names. The American Academy of Pediatrics has also stated that children under the age of 2 should not be exposed to screens. They have advised that although we are growing up digital now, we need to limit the screen time that our children have. Preschoolers and toddlers should have roughly about an hour each day. They advise, though, that if your child is watching TV, watching a movie, reading an ebook, that when you sit down and talk to your child, you bring up those things that they've read or heard to kind of bridge that gap between the digital and the actual parent. Katie loves to watch Curious George. We watch it a few minutes every night before bed. But we always talk about what George is doing and how he will get out of the predicament that he has gotten himself into that day. We enhance what she is watching by reading Curious George books. This gives us the opportunity to connect as parent and child without the screen. The interactions between a parent and child while reading books is something that cannot be replicated by a screen. In a study conducted 2 years ago with 24 mothers comparing reading books and having ebooks read to children, 24 mothers were asked to read a certain book to their child while a different book was read to them by an electronic reader. The comparison between the child's comprehension skills from reading with their mother and reading the ebook didn't vary very much. They were relatively similar. However, the study found that the interactions between the parent and the child were far more beneficial when they read with their mothers as opposed to reading on a screen. Screens are fun. They have many educational benefits. They enhance our lives. However, they do lack human interaction and bonds. Recently at work, we had to attend a webinar in which the author of a book called iGen discussed how current adolescent trends in regards to technology have changed. This upcoming generation is referred to as the iGeneration by Jean Twenge. In her book, she discusses how adolescents in the iGen tend to gravitate more towards screens. This is what they've grown up with. This has changed their learning styles. This has increased their isolation amongst their peers. It's also increased their emotional instability. By allowing our children to start down this path so early in life, it may be easier for parents, and a lot of times, let's face it, it's more convenient. However, it's not the best thing for our children. By taking the time each day to sit down and read out loud to our child, my husband and I have learned that it increases our relationship with Katie. It allows us to grow in ways with her that are immeasurable. It's not always easy. Sometimes it's a chore. I cannot tell you how many times I've read this book, Dumbo and Mama, over and over and over. However, in reading this book, it is one of my child's all-time favorites. She has it memorized. She mimics the noises that I make in it. She mimics the sound effects. But we've been able to utilize what we've read in this book in our play. When we play together, a lot of times we use her stuffed animal Dumbo, and this increases her creativity. We act out some of the scenes that we have seen in the book in our playtime. It's a way that we've been able to connect on a different level. Screens are not bad. Screens actually have a lot of benefits, and they do serve us in many different ways. However, a screen cannot replace the arms of a loving parent. A screen cannot replace the time that we spend together, and a screen cannot replace what we build as parent and child. I am a parent who strongly believes in reading to your child every day. I strongly believe that the benefit is not just reading for an educational purpose. It's reading for an emotional connection and a way to connect with your child. Thank you.